So you were taught with the hashing. All the concepts were covered on the hashing. Anyone need any repetition of that, or shall we continue? Okay. So fine. So I have few doubts. Let me confirm how well you are aware of those questions. So can someone say actually what is a hashing? I mean, what type of technique is hashing? Audible now? Is the voice audible? More clear? Hello? Is my voice more clear now? Okay. So a simple question. So because it's a okay, as it's a revision session, so let me ask you one simple question. What type of technique is hashing? So if you are saying it is a direct search location, desired data to store or retrieve quickly, we use hashing. So don't make your answers very complicated. Hashing, I'm talking about your search. I mean, I'm talking about the technique. At what category or in what context your hashing falls. That is either it is a search technique or a sorting technique. A simple definition is, or a simple word we can understand is in hashing is hashing a technique that is used for searching. Actually, it is a good searching technique. Okay, hashing comes under the category of search technique. Okay, actually we use this for storing the information, retrieving the information quickly. They are the they are the conditions which we use your hashing. But hashing falls under a best searching technique. So you're all aware of three different searching. I mean, you're all are aware of basic searching techniques. Like you all know what is a linear search and what is a binary search. So can someone say if I have a value of n, okay, if I have a value of n is nothing but number of entries of my data. If I use something called as linear search or binary search, what is my time complexity that will be taken for linear search or binary search? If it is for linear search, what is my time complexity? And if it is binary search, what is my time complexity? Yes, you are correct. So someone have given me the answer. So linear search will take the time complexity as order of n, and binary search will take the order of log n. So in order to make your searching technique more feasible, and in order to make your searching technique more with limited times complexity, they have introduced a best searching technique that is nothing but hashing. Okay, so when you talk about what is the major difference between linear, binary, and hashing, linear search and binary search always depends on the value of n. Okay, for example, if I have 1,000 employees, depending on my number of entries into my database, the time complexity of your linear search and binary search will depend. So depending on your number of entries, that is n is nothing but your factor. Okay, depending on your factor, your linear search and binary search time complexity is calculated. But when you come to the technique of hashing, hashing will work purely independent of your number of entries. That is a major difference between the remaining two search techniques and hashing. Okay, so you need to remember these points precisely because these are very important things which you have to remember in the concepts of hashing. So first of all, hashing comes under the category of linear a searching technique. Now, when you talk what is the uniqueness of hashing when you compare with linear and binary search is always your linear search and binary search are purely dependent on the value of n. That is the number of entries which you are going to consider. Okay, depending on your number of entries, that is, you give something called enter value for n, right? Depending on that n, you are finding the time complexity of your linear search and binary search. But when you talk about hashing technique purely works independent to the number of entries. So even your n value is small, or your n value is medium, or your n value is uncountable entry, still your hashing technique will work for the time complexity of order of 1. Okay, so that is the first thing. So your time complexity in your hashing search technique is reduced from order of log n to order of 1. Okay, so this is a small introduction. So can someone say what are different hash functions we can use? What are the different hash functions we can use? Yes. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. So I have a small question for you now. So if I have a statement or if I have a condition like this, H implies K arrow L. Okay. Can someone say what does H stand for, what does K stand for, and what does L stand for? Okay. K is key. Very good. Someone have answered me. Answer. Key, correct. Okay. Hash stands for hash function. So don't search in Google. If you don't know, leave it. But I'll explain you. Okay. Some says index. No. H is hash function. That's correct. And L is value. So this is the thing which every one of you get confused. L is not a value. It is a memory address. So that is a major thing. We focus on your hash. Okay. Hashing functions or hashing techniques are not used to find the values, or they are not calculating some dependent things. We are using your hashing technique in order to find the memory address where you want to insert your data. Okay, why we go for this is in order to decrease the time complexity of searching technique. So whenever you have an equation, H implies K implies L. H is always the hash function which you are going to apply. That is, you have mentioned me few techniques, and K is always a key. Okay, what is a key we are using in order to generate your memory address. Okay, so always we use your key in order to find your L. So L is nothing but we are calling it as a memory address. In your easy terms, we can call it as a location. Okay, where, for example, I have something, I have a value like 1 or 2, where I want to store this 1, 2 values in my hash table is nothing but this L. It's talking about your memory address. So as you all have mentioned me, we have different hashing functions actually. So few of them have, one of them have answered. The hash functions are categorized into 3 types basically. The first one is division method. This is a normal precise thing which a normal it's a generic method. And the next one is mid square method. And the third one is folding method. Okay, these are the 3 basic, or these are the 3 different types of hash functions that are available in the technique of implementing hashing. So what is the formula, or how do you do division method? I mean, what is the, how do you find, because you said me that you already have insisted me that, I already told you that we have to find some memory location using your hash functions. What is the formula that we apply in division method? What is the formula that we apply in division method? L is equals to key mod table size. Okay, correct. L equals to key mod of X. Key is nothing but your data values and X will be your table size. Okay, with the help of these two things, you are finding the memory location in your hash table. This is a division method. So for example, I have 23. If I'm using division method for hash function, I write L is equal, suppose my table size is 5. I will take, your key is 23, you do simply mod of 5, you get your remainder as 3. So in a table entry of 5, I will store 23 at location 3 because these are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. At location 3, we store the value called as 23. This is a generic method which we apply. Okay. Excuse me. So, now can you tell me how do you do your mid-square method? How do you do your mid-square method? Someone? If you have learned about this, you can answer me the question. Squaring of k, we square the key and take the mid value. Okay. Taking square of k and taking the mid value. Okay. So I have a simple example. For example, I have 3214 as my key value. You're correct? If I have a key value as 3214, so first we are going to find the square of this key. So 3214 square is approximately 103,29796. So what do I do is, in mid-square method, I will eliminate 3 digits on left side and I will eliminate 3 digits on my right side. Suppose if it is a 6-digit number, I'll be eliminating 2 digits on left hand side and 2 digits on right hand side. So the middlemost value is considered as my L. I'll take L is equals to 29. So simple, that is the reason it is given as a name as mid-square method. What do we do is, first we apply the square of the key. Okay, after we apply the square of the key, then we are going to take the mid value. Suppose I have only a 3-digit number, 435. Okay, I will eliminate 1 digit on right hand side and I will eliminate 1 digit on my left hand side and I will consider this mid value of 3 as my key. That is my location as L. Okay, this is about your mid-square method when you use your hash function. Now we also have another technique called folding method. Anyone heard about this folding method? Yes? Okay. So if I have a key is equals to 4, 5, let's take 3, 1, 1, 6. What do we do is, we fold them like simple. We add them 45 plus 31 plus 16. Okay, we are going to fold them. Okay, so what is the value you are going to get when you do 45 plus 31 plus 16? 6, 12, 1, 8, 9. So you get the value as 92. So we are going, suppose if it is a odd digit number, like if you have only 453, we are going to take 45 plus 3. Okay, it's 92, right? So this will become your L. Suppose if I have a 3-digit number, that is if you have odd number of digits, we are going to consider again 2 values and the leftover will become, so you get here it as 48. So folding method is nothing but we are going to combine 2 digits as 1 unit and we are going to apply the addition in between them in order to get my location value. Okay, this is about your folding method. So your hash functions are 3. The basic one, that is division method, which will use a formula as L is equals to K mod X. K is your key and X will be your table size. And mid square is nothing but first you are going to do in mid square, first we have to apply the square of the given number. Then we are going to find the middle element, which is nothing but you are calculating it as L. When you talk about folding method, in folding method we are going to group 2 bits each and we are going to do the sum between them where you get your location value. So these are the small techniques which we use as your hashing techniques. Okay, so these are nothing but hashing techniques. So caching, so might be the terminology might be new, but you know what are the components of hashing. Sridhar, what you want me to explain? Which one? Folding method? Excuse me. Okay, someone was asking me regarding the previous one. Okay, fine. Simple. So I have taken the before example. For example, I have a number like this. I have a key value as k is equals to 453116. And what do we do is we fold. We are folding these two digits. We are folding these two digits like this. Okay, so when we combine this, we get 45 plus 31 plus 16. The sum gives me the key value. That is L value, sorry. This will become my L. Suppose, as you may think, suppose if I have an example like 612 with a 3-digit number, then also the same, okay? Because if you want to fold, we need 2 digits at least. So we combine these two and this is left with nothing. So 61 plus 2 will give me the location value as 63. So this will become your L in your folding method. Clear? Yes, clear now? Okay, so thank you. So next one is, what are the different components of hashing? May I know what are the different components of hashing are available for us? Ma'am, if our table size is 8, then mid square and folding method, what is L? We are not talking about table size here. We are working irrespective of your table size. We directly apply your mid square method and folding methods on your key value. Harshita, you want to say something? Okay, can someone answer me what are the different components of hashing? So hashing majorly has 4 different components. You're all familiar with the words, but what are they called? I think you don't remember. First thing is a hash table. Okay. Then we have the second thing as hash function. Okay. Next we have collisions. And the later one we call it as collision resolution technique. So these are the basic 4 components of your hashing which you need to remember. The first one is hash table. In order to fill your hash table, we use hashing function. If you get any collisions at your hash table, we then apply your collision. So these are the few things which we need to remember or which we need to have an idea. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. So you may have different types of questions on hashing. Like for example, let me ask you. So let me have this session to be interactive only. Keys. I have some keys now. I'm moving on to problems directly. I have the keys as like this: 1, 3, excuse me, 12, 4, 25, 6, 18. Okay, 1, 2, okay, 20 and 8. Okay, these are my keys now. So we need to insert these keys into your empty hash table, okay, of length 10. Okay, they are asking you to insert these keys into our hash table of length 10. That is, length is nothing but your table size. Okay. Now, you have to fill your hash table by using linear probing. That is, okay, we'll use linear probing first with the help of linear probe. So, they have given a hash function. Hash function will be automatically given. If it is not given, you will use your regular hash. What is the formula they have given is, you have to fill your hash table with the using a formula h of I is equals to I square mod 10. Okay, and you have to apply the technique called as linear probe. Okay, they may give I square mod 10, or they sometimes like this, they may give you I square mod L. So you should understand L is nothing but your length in this case. Okay, length of your table is 10. So they have given you hash function as h of I is equals to I square mod of 10. Okay, now you have to do. So after you get, there are two questions here asked. What is your resultant hash table? And find maximum probe values. Okay, what is resultant hash table and find maximum probe value. This is the question asked. So, let me ask, what do you mean by probe actually? What do you mean by probe? You are listening from many classes, right? Linear probe, quadratic probe, and so on. What do you mean by probe? Someone can say me, what do you mean by probe? It's okay if you are saying that it is index of the hash table. Okay. So it's not index of the hash table. How many search or how many times are we applying the technique of your hash function on the given key value? In simple words, you can say that probe is nothing but number of searches you made in order to fit that particular value. Okay, probe is nothing but number of searches we have made in order to fit your key value. So he is asking, among the given key values, which element is having a maximum probe value is your question. Okay, so first, so he's asking you to apply the technique of linear probe. So if you understand this, we can go to quadratic immediately. So let me take the question. 1 second. So we have a table of size 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this is my table now. So my keys were 1, 3, 12, 4, 25, 6, 18, 20 and 8. So we have two things. We have to find the resultant table and we also have to find how many probes, which element is having a maximum probe value. So the h of I function is given as what? I square mod of table size. According to us, the length of table is 10. So we start your indexes from 0. Why we start from index 0 is, we are applying in hash functions always the probability of mod function. Mod always have a reminders only ranging from 0 to 9. That is the reason never ever take your table starting from 1. We always take your table indexes starts from 0. It's a very important thing which you have to remember. Why you take your table from index 0, why not from 1? Because hashing technique uses the implementation of modular function. Mod means it's a reminder. Any reminder for any number will be always in a range from 0 to 9. That is the reason we take the indexes of your table ranging from 0 to 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, And I think we have to draw one more 9. Okay, so the first one 1. 1 square mod 10 is 1. 1 mod 10 gives me the remainder as 1. So I will insert the first element 1 at location 1. Then 3. 3 square becomes 9. 9 mod 10 gives me remainder as what? 9 itself. Always remember, if you are doing mod function, if the number is less than your if your dividend is less than your divisor, always your dividend becomes your remainder. So you get here 9. Then 3 is done. 12. 12 square is 144. 144 mod 10 gives me the remainder as 4. So I'll insert 4 here. I'm so sorry. I have to insert 12. So I'll insert 12 here. Then 4 square gives me 16. 16 mod 10 gives me the remainder as 6. So I'll insert 4 at location 6. So I think everyone are following what are we doing. Thank you. So 16 mod 10 gives me remainder as 6. So I have inserted 4 at location 6. Right? Then we have 25. 25 is nothing but 625. 625 mod 10 gives me the remainder as 5. So I'll insert 25 at location 5. Right? Then we have 6. 6 square mod is 36. 36 mod 10 gives me the remainder as 6. So, but as if you observe here, already at location 6, we have an element with a value called as 4. So this is nothing but you are calling it as collision. So which technique we are using here? Linear probing. So we will go for incrementation. So where we have to insert 6, actually we have to insert 6 at location 6, but there is a collision. So we will do linear probing, that is you will go for the next step. Okay, for the next memory location from the current location. So 7 is empty, so you'll insert 6 at location 7. Right? Then we have 18. What is 18 square? 18 square gives me 324. Yes, 324 mod of 10, which will give me the remainder as what now? 4. Right? So I have to insert 18 at location 4. Right? When you curve at location 4, if you observe in your screen, at location 4, already we have 12. So increment the next position. Again at location 5, we have another number 25. At location 6, it's not empty. At location 7, it is not empty. So finally, at location 8, we have an empty slot. So you will insert 18 at location 8. So we insert 18 at location 8. Right? Correct. So then 20. 20 square gives me 400. 400 mod 10 gives me the location as 0. So I will insert 20 at location 0. It is empty. Then we have the last insertion, that is 8. 8 square. I am doing with the formula. It is given in the formula. If I was given only I mod 10, I will not do square. As the formula for the hash function, they have given it as I square mod 10. You have to use the same formula. So it is 8. 8 square gives me 64 mod 10. So 64 mod 10 gives me the remainder as 6. Remainder as 4. So I have to check the position of 8. At 4 it's full. At 25 it is full. Again it is full 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2. Finally 8 has been inserted at location 2. Right? So your 8 is inserted at location 2. Now your resultant hash table is successfully found. This is the first thing they asked us to do. Yes, we have successfully created your hash function. Now what is the next question they asked? Find the maximum probe value. What is the next question they are asking? Find max probe value. Okay. So you see how we are going to find this probe value. When you want to insert 1, 1 mod 10 gave me the remainder as what now? 1. How many probes did we apply to insert one? Is my question. How many probes did we apply to insert one? Yes, you are absolutely correct. So to insert one, I have used only one probe. So to insert one, I have used one. So fine. How many probes did we use in order to insert 3? 3 also 1, correct. What about 12? Correct. So 4, 1. For 25? 1, correct. What about 6? What about 6? Think for 6 how much? 6 square is 36, right? But at 6 already we have 4. So we have inserted 6 at position 7. So for 6 we have used 2 probes. What about 18? 18 square is 324. 18 square is 324. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for 18 we have done 5 probe. You have to count, we have to take the inclusive thing. Yes. Yes. Now what about 20? 20. 20 is only 1, right? 20 it is only 1 probe. Correct. And what about 8? What about 8? 8 is 64, right? 64 means 4. From 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So among this, what is the maximum probe value now? Yes, maximum probe value will become what? Maximum probe value calculated will be 9. Okay, so you can write a simple program also. When you complete your resultant hash table, how do you find your maximum probe value is by taking a counter. A simple counter counts for every time whenever your counter you are finding for each element, you create a buffer cells and you also insert your count. Whichever count is having the maximum that you will print. Now what is the minimum probe value you have here? It is 1. Minimum in this example, minimum probe value is 1 and maximum probe value will become 9. Everyone understood now? What is a probe and how do we find the probes? Clear? Yes. So, okay. So let me have one question on this. Now, can someone say what is the problem or what is my major disadvantage of linear probing? What is my disadvantage of linear probing? What do you mean by clustering? Yes, you all got the answer, but what is clustering? What is clustering? So clustering, certain elements of same L gets grouped. The element is already filled at that location. So clustering in this hashing is different. It's not something you are combining or whatever. So whenever you get collision here, what are we doing? We are going for finding the next location. We are searching for the next location. So we are increasing your probe values. Okay, so so we are incrementing your probe values in order to fit your key values. So this incrementation of your probe value is becoming more. See, if you observe, even your table is free with some locations, still you're not able to fit your element directly at that particular location. Okay, so we need to use a generic method and we have to use your you are increasing the probe value for a simple element to be inserted in. So as your number of probes are increasing, okay, as your number of probes are increasing to fit any element in your hash table, the complexity of your linear probing is becoming more. Okay, so clustering in terms of linear probing is nothing but the time we are finding for probes or the time we are checking to checked for your probe value. comes as your clustering point here. Okay, so now the next method, very simple technique they have made. Forward step is nothing but your quadratic probing. Then we have something called as quadratic probing. So quadratic probing applies a technique of something called as iterative check. Okay, they have implemented a concept on your quadratic probing as they are using the technique of iterative check. So what they do generally is, so for if you get, so one thing you remember, you will fill your hash table with a normal hash function, whatever is been given. You will apply any of the probing technique, either it is linear, double hash or quadratic, only if collision occurs at the desired position. If a collision occurs at desired position, then we implement the techniques of collision resolution techniques. Okay. So if your collision occurs at desired location, the second technique to avoid that collisions is quadratic probing. And quadratic probing uses the concept or uses the application of iterative check model. So how does that do? So it will take hash of key plus I square mod x. So this is your wish, x and some right t table size. So this x is nothing but, according to me, it is my table size. This is a generic formula that we implement for your quadratic probing. So we'll see how different your linear probe and quadratic probe differs. So now let's have a simple example. I have my keys like this: 2, 12, 22 and 32, and let's take 42. Okay, these are my key values which have been given. Now I have my table size with a value of 10. Okay, I have my table size with a value of 10. Fine. Now I have to fill my table with these key values. Okay. Now, as usual, we will apply a generic thing. That is what? Key mod of table size. Okay, I'm just giving a small formula for your hash function I have given. I'm just giving it as I mod table size. Okay, this is my formula now. TZ is table size here. So I is nothing but my key and TZ is my table size. So I is 2, 2 mod of 10. So 2 will be inserted at location 2 itself. So I am inserting 2 here. Okay. Now when you want to insert 12, okay, 12 mod of 10 gives me a reminder as what now? 2. Now at location 2, already we have an element 2 which has been inserted. Now we have a collision. Now we have to fill this table by the help of your quadratic probing. So what is the formula I said? What we have to do? Hash of your key plus I square of mod table size. Okay, what is that you will do now? Tell me the answer. What do you get now? So this is an iterative model, right? So you will start your iteration of I from 1. Okay, because 0, waste of taking 0, because something plus 0 gives you 0 itself. What is your h of k value got? This. When you apply your h function, it is 2. Right. So 2 plus I. I is nothing but what? Your iteration. We don't take 0 because again it's the same story you will get. You will start your iteration from 1. So 0 square mod of table size 10. So sorry 1. So sorry. 2 plus 1 gives you how much? 3. So 3 mod 10 gives me the remainder as 3. Or you can also do directly. You have this, right? Your key plus your iteration mod of table size. Both are same. Okay, already I have applied h of k. So that is the reason I am taking 2 value plus I is 1. So 1 square mod of 10. So 2 plus 1 becomes 3. 3 mod 10 gives me the remainder as 3. So where do I insert my 12? I will insert my 12 at location 3. Okay. So next, let's talk about the next element. Where do I insert? Where do I insert? Where do I insert 22? So 22 mod 10 again gives me a remainder as what? 2. Right? 22 mod 10 again gives me a remainder as what now? 2. So what should I do? Simple, no? What is the formula we have taken? H of k plus I square mod of 10. What is h of k value got? 2. I can't do 1 square because 1 square give me 3, which is already full. Now I will iteratively increment my value. Why we are calling iteration? Iteration always increases by 1 time. Okay. So I square. Now we are going for 2 square. 2 plus 4 will give me what? 6 mod of 10. So you are inserting 22 at location 6. So can you tell me your answers fast? Where do we insert 32 and 42? Just tell me where should I insert my 32 and 42? Correct. 32 will be inserted at location. 32 will be inserted at location 1. Correct. And what about 42? 42 at 8. Correct. Yes. 32 will be inserted at location 1 and 42 will be inserted at location. Yes. Right. So this is your what do you call quadratic probing. Okay. So do we have any disadvantage in quadratic probing? When you compare with linear probe, which you feel better? When you compare with linear probe, which you feel better? Will you feel quadratic probing is better, or you feel it as a linear probe is better? So because the probe values for a simple number, it is decreasing, right? When you compare with your linear probe, the probe size values are for quadratic will decrease. So, so let's do the small program on your quadratic probing. So I guess your linear probing program is explained to you. Yes. Okay, good. So let's do with linear. Just give me a couple of minutes time. I'll just do. So. So let me take, I'll just share it, 2 minutes time. It's very simple when you compare with your linear probe. Quadratic probe is also the same thing we do. I just ask the user print first enter element insertion. So then you can use your key, scanf, control string. So you are finding h key function. H key is a normal thing. So hash function key mode of table size. So I will repeat the procedure from I less than or table size. So I'll find the index with the formula H key plus I star I mode of table size. Okay. So I will check if hash of index whatever I'm calculating, if it is equals to 0, when 0 is coming, then I will write hash of index is equals to that key element, then we will break the loop. Then we close it. If I is equals to table size, element cannot be inserted. This is for your insertion. Very simple technique. Only the small change we do is in your linear we do I mod table size. In your what do you say? In quadratic probing we do I square. So the same thing we can use for search also. Instead of finding say printf element found at index, is value index comma index, then we can write element not found, element is not found. Okay. So we'll see how this program helps in inserting and this total story, how it's working. So now, how do you insert? I mean, this is a simple program. How do we implement the technique of quadratic probing in your table? Okay, so we can take the previous example. So let's consider the same example. You have the elements like 2, 12, and 22, 32, and 42. So we'll take for four numbers, so we'll understand more clear. So let's assume your table size is 10. Okay, your table size is 10. So when you call your function, when you call your insert function, so you can use your switch statement in order to either you want to insert your table or you can search your table or you can even use your display function. Okay, so these are the three basic functions which we use. One is insertion, one is display, and the other one is search. And if you want, you can even retrieve. That is nothing but in your terms, it is delete. So how do you insert now? Okay, declaration of variables, that story you can take care of, key, table size, hk, and everything. So now the first element is I want to insert. So it will you when you call your insert method. Okay, a user is supposed to give his key element so that it can be inserted in your hash table. So already your table size is declared as a directive. That is, you can define your table size like this: hash define table size with a value of some 10 or 11 or 12. That's your choice of what you want to define. Okay, first I'll ask a user to give some key. Let us think he have given me an option key with a value called as 2. Okay, so first we are going to find hash key function, that is h of key. What is that? HK function is key mod of table size. What is your key? Key is 2 and table size is 10. So 2 mod 10, H key will give me a value called as what now? 2. Okay, so I have to insert at particular index. Okay, that is, you have found HK value as 2. Now you have to insert that 2 in your table. So I will enter into this loop. Okay, so you are at index 0. 0 is less than table size. Condition is true. So you are finding the memory location where you want to insert your key element in your table now. Okay, you have generated your hash key value and you are finding the index value. So what is H key value got? 2 plus, I am starting my iteration 0. Okay, so you check now how it happens now. 2 plus I square. I square is what? 0. Mod of table size. So it will be 0. So 2 plus 0 gives me the index value as what now? Index is equals to 2. I got this. Now I have to check if my hash of index position. Okay, if my hash, this is an array similar to your array. If my hash of index is 0, okay, then I have to go for inserting my key into that particular table. Hash of index. What is index? You got 2. At h of 2, it is empty, right? So what will I do? I will insert key element into this location now. What is my key element? 2. So 2 will be inserted into this location. Okay, and the loop will break. Why do we need to break? Because we need not calculate your iteration for the further step because it is not having any collision. Okay, now let's take, again I have called my insert method for inserting my next element, that is nothing but 12. Okay, now I have to find my insert number for element 12. Again, your key became 12 now. Your key value is 12. Fine. So again you are finding H key function, which will give me a value as 2 because 12 mod of 10 gives me a reminder as what? 12 mod 10 gives me a reminder as 2. I got my reminder as 2. Again I enter into this loop. I am starting my iteration from 0. Okay. H key. 2 plus 0 mod of table. So 0 mod of table size gives me 0. 2 plus 0 is 2. Hash of 0 is 0? No, it is not 0. Okay, it is not empty. It is not a null value. So why I am taking it as 0 means never your key will start from 0. So don't think why ma'am has taken it as 0. Definitely we don't have any unique IDs with an entry with value called as 0. Okay, so at h of 2 it is not 0. So what will I do now? So if this if loop is false, if this so when I calculate here, h of 2 is not 0 because at h of 2 we already have an element with a value called as 2. In this case, you go and you are incrementing your value of probe. I plus plus. Now I was previously 0. Now I is incremented to 1. Now what is hk here? 2 plus I square. I square is 1 mod of 10. So modulus has more preference. So first you will do 1 mod 10. 1 mod 10 gives me the reminder as, 1 mod 10 gives me a reminder as 1. So I get 2 plus 1 which is nothing but 3. Now again you check your loop. Is h of 3. At h of 3, if you are assume this as hash, at hash of 3, what do we have? Is it not? It is not 0 because at hash of 3 it is empty. So you enter into the loop and you check hash of 3, you are assigning with a value called as key now. Hash of 3 is assigned with a value called as key. So I will insert 12 now. Again you have to break. if you are successful in inserting your key element, you are going to break. Okay, this is about 12. So we'll do for one more, then you'll understand. Okay, now let's take your chosen element is 22. Again, your key value became how much now? Key value is 22. Now again you are finding H key value. H key is equals to 22 mod table size. 22 mod table size gave me a value called as what now? 2 in this line. Again you will start with 0 first. It is at H of 2 is, it is not, it is not empty. It is not 0. It has some value. So what will I do? Excuse me. So again I'll increase I plus plus. I plus plus 1 becomes what? 1. Again 2 plus 1 is 3. Condition is again false. We are doing for 22, right? Yes. So again increase I. Now I became how much? 2. 2 plus I squared. I square becomes so much? 2 square mod of 10. 4 mod 10 gives me how much? 4. So 2 plus 4 will give me a value called as 6. Is h of index is 0? No, right? So you'll enter into the loop now. H of index equals to key. Okay, so what we are inserting now? Where is my key? What is my key now? 22. So at h of, okay, as it is true, at h of 6. Okay, you got your index value as 6. So at h of 6, I'm inserting the value called as 22. Then again I will break. Okay, so in this way, we are going to fill your insertion of your entries into your table. Okay, understood with your insert function 2, 12, 22 and 32 and so on. Anyone has doubt with this insert? Initially you can put all zeros in this because your key never will be 0 as I mentioned. Okay, you will insert, you will say h of your values equals to 0. Create it as a vector. So automatically your table size that is will be filled with all zeros. Okay, so never you will get your key values as 0. That's the reason I'm comparing here with 0. Okay, anyone want me to repeat your insert function? Okay. Fine. Okay, someone is asking for repeat, so let's worry about them. Okay, so let me take the same example. Okay, no problem, no need of please, I'll repeat. Okay, 2, 12, 22, 32. Again I'm telling you, I'm taking your 0 condition because never you'll have your key elements as 0. Okay, that's the reason we are filling your table with 0 as entries. Okay, so I'll make more clear this time. I'll even put zeros, then you'll understand. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So now I'll start inserting. So we are using here the technique of linear probe, quadratic probe. So you will apply the technique or implement the technique only if there is a collision in your table. Okay, we are going to implement that. Okay, so we can change this program as well. Like if you want your loop only to work when you get collision, you can apply that. Otherwise, you can directly use this model. Okay, and anything is precise according to you. So first, you'll ask the user to enter your key. So your initial value of key is 2. So not to make confused, I'll fill all the table entries with zeros initial. I don't have anything here. Okay. If they are not keys, only the entries we are making it as 0. Your table is empty. To make the empty condition, I'm taking it as 0. And only 0 because key will not be 0. I'm again insisting that key never will be a 0. So first you're asking the user to enter some key. I gave my key value as 2. So first I'll find my hash key function. Okay, key mod of table size, that is 2 mod of 10. 2 mod of 10 gives me a reminder as 2, which is nothing but you are calculating h key function now. So now you start filling your table using your quadratic equation. So I'm taking it from 0. Okay, instead of 1, I'm taking it as from 0. So what is the formula for quadratic function? You have to find your location where you have to insert your key element originally. So you are finding index is equals to h key plus I square mod table size. What is your h key calculated? You have calculated the hash key as 2 plus initial I is 0. So 0 mod of 10. 2 plus 0, which gives me index as 2. I have to check, is my location at that position is my location at that position is 0 or it has any another value. For that reason I have checked as this condition. Hash of index, what is my index? 2. At h of 2 your value is 0, means no element was yet inserted. So you start inserting now. So this will be removed and you will insert your latest entry of 2 here. Okay, then after you do this, you are going to break your loop because your insertion is successful now. Then again repeat the procedure. So first again we are going to repeat the procedure for the next element. Now let's take your key as 12. Okay, again you are finding h key. Obviously 12 mod 10 gives, this is your key, 12 mod 10 gives me the remainder as 2. So again you start iteration. 2 plus 0 mod 10 will give me again what? Index as 2. Again verify. At h of 2. At h of 2 is my value 0. No, it's not 0. It is 2. It means there is a collision because already you have some data into your location. So what will I do? I will implement the technique of quadratic probe now by using my iterative model. I will increment I. I was previously 0. Now I becomes 1. Again h key, that is 2 plus 1 square mod of 10 gives me what? 1, which gives me 3. What is my index now? You got your latest index for that particular value as 3. Right? Again, is h of 3. What do we have in h of 3? It is 0. Yes, condition is true. So you'll enter and at that location you will insert your key value as 12. Key is 12, right? So you are going to remove this 0 and you are replacing that with 12. And then again you are going to break your loop. This procedure will be repeated until your table size is full. Understood now? Yes, everyone understood now? Your insertion. Shall we go for search? Okay. Ma'am, can we take if h null condition means what? How do you check whether it is null? You can't fill your table with null, so it should be a pointer. If you want to use a null condition, make it as a pointer. You can't. Else you have to fill your table with null values, or you can take it in more precise. You can simply if you don't want to make if you want to make it more practical, make it as -1 because it's an array, right? If you want to make it as a pointer, you can use the condition as null. Otherwise, make it as -1. Anything is fine. Initially, declare your hash table with -1 locations. Okay, fine. Now, for example, I want to search. It's very easy. Search is again you have to use the same formula to calculate. So I want to search an element 12. How do I search is your question. So first you ask the user to instead of insert, I'll ask the user to element to be searched here. He gave me key value as 12. Now same thing I will apply here. First I'll calculate h key. H key value is equals to 12. But one thing I want to change, let me change that. Okay. When I'm telling you, when I'm teaching you, I'll change that. What is that condition? Okay. So I will check here. H key is what? Oh, sorry. I'll calculate h key function. I'll get my h key value as how much now? 2. Okay. Again, I'll start from 0. Okay. So this is your table now. In this table, you are searching some element. So what I get H key 2 plus 0 mod 10 will give me the remainder as 2 index. Now at this index, I don't compare with 0. I should compare with what? Your search element. Okay, element that you want to search. So here I am taking it as key. What is H of index? H of 2. At H of 2, is it equals to 12? What do we have in H of 2? It is 2. So it is false. So what will I do? I will go for incrementing of I plus plus. Okay, the same logic I'll apply. H key 2 plus I square gives me what? 1 square is 1 mod of 10, which will give me 3. Now again I'll come here. At H of 3, is equals to 12 because you are searching for your key element is 12. What do we have in H of 3? It is 12. Yes, when 12 is equals to 12, you print element is found at that particular index. Where did we find your element 12? At index 3. And then you have to break your loop. Okay. Now when you are searching for something 5, this iteration will repeat for your table size. And your I also will be equivalent to your table size, that is nothing but 10. So if I matches to table size means there is no entry of that element. So that is the reason I am writing a condition as element not found. Okay, the same procedure what we do for insert we are using for search, but one thing is instead of here comparing h of index with 0, we write h of index is mapped with key. If they are matching, you print where the element is found, and that is nothing but the location of that particular element, and then you have to break your loop. So if the particular element, like for example, I'm searching for 50, we don't have entry of 50. Definitely, your iteration runs for 0 to n times. That is nothing but 0 to 10 times. Once your I becomes 10, the loop automatically stops. Then you will check this if statement. Is I is table size? Yes, 10 is equals to 10. Condition is true. It means that you don't have entry of that element. That's the reason you print the message as element is not found. Understood everyone? Both techniques of insert and search clear? Same thing even in linear probing, whatever the insert method is there, you can write it for search technique. Can I know how do you write your simple display function? I want to display my table. How do I display? Simple an array. How do you write your array? How do you print your elements of array is the same thing. Yes, you have to use a simple loop. So how can I write? I'll write for I equals to 0, I less than table size, I plus plus. You need to print the elements of your hash. Okay. So how do you write print? What are the two things we have to write? The so and so element is at some so and so location. So I told that I'm taking my hash table. So I'll write hash of I. Hash of I is nothing but your array, and your I is talking about your index, because I have like this. For example, 0, 1, 2, 3. At 2 I have 12, for example, understand. So when I start from 0, in initial we don't have anything here. Let's take your table is filled with 8, 3, 12 and 14. Like this we have. So percentile D element is at location percentile D. What is hash of 0 we have? 8. So 8 is at location 0. Then we get 3 is at location 1. Then we get 12 is at location 2. Then we get 14 is at location 3. If you want to avoid zeros, if you can write here, if hash of I is 0, nothing you do. Otherwise you print. You can even write like that. So everyone are clear with these three functions? I mean, one is insert, search and delete. Sorry, display. Anyone want anything else? Anybody has any doubt with this? Can we use simple loops and if we're searching? Yes. See, it's similar to your array, only the formula is different, that's all. You are using it as an array, right? You can use any technique to print or search. But one thing is, if you use, but you have to have some condition because you need to find where your element is found. Generally, in your arrays, we search with 0, 1, 2. But here, we don't waste your time, right? Because you will find it in order of one time. Okay, that is a foremost thing. See, even in your linear array, if you want to search some element, what you do? You start searching it from 0 to n elements. Here, we don't depend on your n value at all. Okay, we are only searching according to your entries in the table. Mm, order of 1. That is only the major advantage of this hashing, basically. So, no, if your probe value is high, it's not order of 1. It will be order of your table size. It is not order of number of elements. Remember, here we are not depending on n, you are depending on your table entries. But most of the time, even if your database or your data set is very large, still your hashing will implement your technique with the help of order of 1 itself, max of the size. Worst case, yes, it's order of your table size. Correct. Correct. So can one more thing. As I told, worst case is order of table size. Correct. Hashing is a searching technique, but you can use even this technique for sorting and retrieving also. Technique is used for what and what type of technique means it is searching. It can be used for storing the information. It can be used for sorting the information. It can be used for retrieving information. Generally, we use this for it will make your search capacity optimal when you compare with the remaining searches. Okay, we have binary search trees and everything, but still binary search trees and all these will use order of login. But a big applications and these operations in hashing provides order of 1. First case complexity is order of table size what you told, but always you will have a best and average case as order of 1. That is for sure. Okay. So anything else you want me to anything else you want to have any doubts with this? So what is load factor? I forgot to ask. What is a load factor? Have you heard a word called as load factor? I forgot to ask this question at all. What is load factor? Yes, correct. Load factor is nothing but number of elements in your hash table by your table size. So they may ask you to find the load factor of particular thing, then you can find this how many elements, how much that. Okay. So one more thing, simple definition is process of mapping key to location is hashing. Hashing falls under search technique. But still, what is your question? I didn't get you. Why do we use load factor? Okay, so this is actually a decision parameter. Load factor is your decision parameter. When do we generally use this load factor is when you want to expand your hash table entries. For example, today I have designed my hash table entries as 10. Suddenly there are few more entries in my table. Okay, so in whenever you want to expand your current hash table, okay, existing hash table entries, then we choose this parameter of calculating load factor. And one more thing is, it also will help us. It also tells whether or not. Suppose as E is, it will help us to find whether your applicable distribution cases we can use your load factor. Okay. So in collision resolution techniques, we have two things: direct chaining and open addressing mode. I don't know whether you were in that or not. So we have two things actually in collision resolution techniques. We have only two things. One is direct chaining method. Let me write. One is direct. One is direct chaining method, and the other one is you have open addressing. In direct chaining, we have two things. One is nothing but you have a linked list application, and the other one is separate chaining. And in open addressing mode, we use this linear probe, quadratic probe, and double hash. Linear, quadratic, and double hash. Okay. So hope everyone are clear with this today's session. Yes. So you still has any doubt? You have a couple of minutes time, madam. What about deleting? What? What about deleting? Haven't you done delete function in your linear probe method? Have you done your delete function or not? I didn't get you. You did or you didn't do? What is there at that so whatever the key element you are matching, we are going to make that location with -1 again. That's all. After you find that element, okay. Let me show. It's nothing. What delete doesn't make anything more as what you are saying. So simple. So in the previous example, this was your table, right? So let me have a look on this. For example, I have my entries like this. Let's take I have inserted with zeros, for example. Okay, 23. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have some element 21 here. I have some element 12 here. Okay, suppose we have to insist which element or which data you want to delete. So you will use the same technique. Key I will give it as 12. So if I match here, if your h of index is matching with your element to be deleted, instead of your print here, you will make that location hash of index equal to 0 back again. That's all. Suppose if you have made your all your hash table entries with -1. If your hash table entries are -1, you will make instead of 0, hash of index equals to -1. That's all. We need to mark the index with -1 after deleting. Balaji Ganesh. You will search, then you will delete. And you will mark that location with -1 or 0 depending on what value you have initialized when you declared your hash table index, hash table location values. Very simple. Okay. I'll just show you one so that you'll understand here. Okay, so for example, I want my key element to be deleted is at location 12. I want to delete my element 12 in my list. So I'll calculate h key function because first I should know where my element is there. Then I will remove that element from the list. So what do I get h key now? I'll get h key as 12 mod 10. The remainder is 2 now. Right? So first again I'll go for loop I equals to 0. H key plus 0 square table size. So 2 plus 0 square mod of 10. So 2 plus 0 which will give me 0. That is nothing but I have calculated my index value as what now? 2. So after I calculate my index as 2, I will check is h of index, is h of 2 is equals to the element which you want to delete. What is my 12? At h of 2, what do we have? We have it as 12. Yes, when 12 is equals to 12, I should replace that. So instead of writing this, I will simply write hash of that particular index, I will store with a value called as -1. Hash of index. What is my index calculated? 2. At h of 2, I will replace this with a value as -1. If my initial values of my table are -1, I will do it with -1. If my initial values of my table are designed with 0, I will put it as 0. Now for example, tomorrow if I search again with a key value as 12, it will be not in my list. So I'll get element is not found in the list. Understood, Ganesh? Simple. See, all are having the same parameters. Only the thing, in insertion you will insert, in search you will print, in delete you will replace that value with -1. That's all. Clear? Balaji Ganesh, I'm asking you. No, nothing special. Just we are replacing it with -1 or 0. That's all. Because we are not doing any deallocation of memory here. If it was a pointer implementation or if it is any another pointer implementation, definitely we have to do free of your memory. You know, have concept of deleting a node in a linked list. We do free option, right? That we have to do. But here it's not necessary because it's a simple array. Okay. So everyone understood how even your delete method. So here only simple change you will do in delete is what? If your hash of index is equals to key, you will write h of index with a value called as -1 or 0. That's all. Okay. So one thing I want to confirm, did everyone have received 70 MCQs or not? All the sections. I only know G and ITB have received, but I don't know whether CSE A to F and ITA have received. Not yet received. I have shared questions of my MCQs which you have to be prepared. Have you received materials? No. Nothing is received from our end regarding data structures concept. No notes, no important questions, nothing is received for you people. Okay. Are CRs present now in this class? Do we have CRs of A, B, C, D, E, F sections? So still we are in dilemma that we don't have the confirmation whether your exam will be theoretical or MCQs only. But anyhow, both things will be shared. So do we have all the CRs of A, B, C, D, E, F? Okay. I don't know who are there here. So what you do is after your classes are done, by the end of the day, you ask your CRs to post the materials which I have shared with them in your group. By the end of the day, I'll share in the CRs group of all the sections where I am there. You insist your CRs to post the DS related material in your class groups. Okay, I will be sharing them by today. After this class, immediately I'll do. Whatever the things are going to post, CRs are responsible for posting that information in your group. So you people force them to do that. Okay, your CRs are not passing information, I guess. Let them pass the information. Okay, so that you can. Hello. Okay, fine. So everyone are clear with all the concepts? Ma'am, timetable for MITS, I guess they will share you. That will be shared officially. Okay, no need to worry. Still, if you don't receive your date contents related to data structures by today end of the day, let me know. Okay. So myself, Kirti, you can ping me on my WhatsApp if you didn't receive any materials. 99894. Okay. So by end of the day, if you don't receive, you'd let me know. But I will do it too. Nandika, I have posted MCQs, right? 70 MCQs. Yes. Yes, we are not yet confirmed whether we'll have theory paper or MCQs. So I'll send us. Okay. Okay, all. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.